Hello, flat earth researchers, debaters and debunkers. I'm here at the lake, just having some thoughts that maybe I could share with you. It's about 9 o'clock in the morning here in Phuket. We're at the Lake Elephant Nursery. No elephants to see at the moment. They are somewhere else at the moment, but here are the surroundings. Hello from Jamaica. Oh, nice one. All right, okay. What are you doing in Jamaica? What's your thing going on there for you? I'd be curious to know. Yeah, anyway, I haven't got anything to kind of stand the camera on, so I just hold it. What's up? Much love. Okay, hello there. Thank you. All right. Yeah, what did I title this? Letting life take its course or something like that. Because it's amazing, isn't it, how we all get so caught up in concepts, really. This is one of our biggest problems that any individual faces in life, is that we are often having to battle with concepts. And something happened over in the pond, in the lake there. See if I can get you closer to the lake here. There seems to be some activity, fish feeding or something. It might be interesting. It's very hot though. That's why I was in the shade just now. But yeah, let's see what comes up in the lake here. This is where the elephants come to bathe, and our visitors can bathe with them. It's rather pleasant. And they've just built this bridge here to go over to this little island there, so that's kind of cool. So it's really nice. But it's funny. Hang on a minute. It's far too hot and bright over here. Sorry, just a minute. I'll just get back to a seat over here under the umbrella. Was that your grandpa told when the cows were lying down, the fish are not biting? Oh, interesting. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? That's kind of what's the word? Apt, because letting life take its course is kind of really, a lot of that is observing what goes on in nature. It's funny. I mean, us humans seem to be able, in a way, we're like a composite of all the different traits that we can see in animals, and those that we can't physically do, we can recreate, such as flying like a bird or something like that. But I think that's why we find certain animals endearing sometimes, is because we think they're so much like us, but it's that life force, that curiosity, that innocent perception. This is a word that I really like, but it's very difficult to achieve, that innocent perception. This is a friend that this is something a friend of mine Ajahn Supawan. She's a Buddhist teacher based in, kind of spends her time between here and the UK. So if you're in the UK and you're near Kings Bromley or near Birmingham, you can go and join her sessions there at the Thai temple. I'll do something else about that later on. I'll do a proper promotion for her, but she's got one coming on soon. But the innocent perception, like when you're a child, you have that innocent perception because you don't have labels in your mind. You see beauty in all sorts of things, whether it's bubbles or the shape of the dirt or something like that. Is if you can just look at, as a child, you can look at the grains here and be enthralled by all the stuff that you see going on in there. That's the innocent perception. But of course, as we grow older and our innocent perception becomes clouded, or we get labels for things, we'll walk across something like this and we won't even notice all the things that we used to notice when we were a kid, when we had that innocent perception. And so then we become, while we're going about our daily business and stuff, we are often then on autopilot. We are pre-consumed with all sorts of thoughts and concepts and worries and things. And it usually is, if you're feeling, I suppose if you're feeling depression, I think they say it's you're not really letting. Oh, something popped up its head in the water there. You're not. You're stuck in the past, and if you're feeling worry, then you're kind of stuck in this conceptual idea about the future. Whereas the here and now, you're breathing, you're alive, you're experiencing life. I had an interesting experience yesterday. I was just on the way back home, didn't have any cash on me, I was running out of diesel. I had about 20 kilometers worth of diesel left in the tank. And I wasn't too far from home from picking up my kids from school. I was kind of like 2/3 of the way home. But there was a German couple who'd obviously just arrived on the island. They had their backpacks and everything. And it turned out that I was correct in my assumption that they basically gotten off a bus that had brought them into Phuket, but then they were heading to a certain area and they didn't have any means of getting there. There isn't a proper taxi or a bus service in Phuket really. So I stopped, I pulled over, I said, "Hey, you okay? You need some help? Where are you going?" Okay. They wanted to go somewhere, like I said, and it was like, oh, okay. I kind of, in my own mind, I wanted to help them, but I was also running out of diesel. But okay, all right. So I took them to where they needed to go. So it was kind of basically going back in the direction I'd already come. And okay, we dropped them off, and they were very grateful, and they gave me 300 baht. So I was able to put money in my tank. That's about, I suppose, 300 baht is about 10-12 pounds. So I was able to put money in my diesel in my tank, and that kept me going for another day. It's just what would you call it? Serendipity. Things just happened. Of course, there's so there was a moment where I was thinking, shan't I help them? And I decided to help them, and it worked out in my favor ultimately, and so it's like, the moment you start thinking about things sometimes is when you just end up overthinking and not doing what is naturally right at the time. A lot of life decisions really shouldn't take much thinking if you are tuned into instinct, as long as you're not being impulsive based on certain things that have been designed or meant to attract you in a false way. The attraction of money, a high position, status. I mean, people get reeled in by that all the time, don't they? And that's the problem that we see in, for example, politics or something like that. We know that most politicians are power-hungry people. The few, the ones that really have the public's best interests at heart, get trampled on by those who will let their own greed take over. And of course, they are then much more easily manipulated by those with, better resources and more wealth and what have you. Yeah. Oh, thanks. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, this is it. Sometimes you can never. And that's what's so exciting about life. You never know. You wake up one day, you don't know what's going to happen. You you have no idea, do you? But we can wake up full of ideas about how the day is going to go, and be worried and all this and that. And it's just like, no, you just go out and do it. It will turn out all right in the end. And I'm sure if you're some kind of independent person and you're doing your own thing, you've had to fight tooth and nail sometimes just to maintain that, because you've got people all around you, especially close people all around you that are saying things out of love, and but they're worrying. They have all these scenarios in their head that, oh, this could happen, that might happen, you might end up like this. Why don't you do this? Why don't you go for the secure, safe option? And well, hey, sometimes you look back and you think, well, if I'd followed that person's advice, that might have been a good idea, but that's okay. That's the whole point of life, isn't it? Isn't that the whole point? Imagine if we were introduced into this life, and we were it's like, okay, let's say the stars and all that, the alignment of the stars, the planets, whatever, are highly significant in your life. If you're you're a Scorpio, or you're a Pisces, or whatever that is, and then all those, now if obviously astrology, is that the right word? Astronomy. Yes, astrology is a fine science, and those that understand it can obviously, first of all, they can describe the what certain planets and stars were doing at the time of your birth, and pretty much not predict your life, but you can pretty much get a clear idea of the kind of situations and opportunities that person might face, the personality that they have. Oh, hi. All right, sorry, I'll just carry on for now. I'll come back to the chat later. Yeah, so we really are born into a world that is so detached, and you can see even more now with some of the craziness that's going on. It's so detached from the way, again, this natural flow of life. It's like there's blockers and barriers, and whether it's the chemicals, the narcissism, I wonder if you can see, there's a lizard here. Let's see if I can zoom in on this guy without scaring him, or her, or them, they. See him? Little iguana there. I mean, chameleon. He's looking at me. Oh, there you go. Oh, where's he gone? Whoop, zipped away now. Yeah. Let's face this way. Let's give you a bit of a change of view. Face this way now. It's kind of cool. You get some nice kingfishers and stuff around here sometimes. It's beautiful. So hello from Canada. Oh, I expect it's rather cold there. Yeah. Oh, you must, if you don't, I'm sure you probably do know, but if you don't follow Emerald Rider, do so. He's doing some great videos from Mexico now, and this is nice to see someone who's following their path. And yeah, sometimes we need to struggle to get to a point. You have a goal in mind, and there's something that consumes you to reach that goal and achieve it. I was just saying to my daughter this morning, look around us. I mean, we live in this stunning place. We're very fortunate to kind of get up and go to work. But yeah, it's not only fortune. It's there was this at one time in my life there was a desire to get here, and there's been some hugely frustrating times. Again, a lot of it to do with money, a lot of it to do with red tape, bureaucracy. There's been some real struggles that we've gone through, and but there's some real life lessons I've learned. So this is the thing, isn't it? We are often born into a world where we are given this false idea of what it is to achieve something. And of course, that's mainly revolves around money or some kind of status or identity. Oh, he or she has gone and got a degree and he's a doctor and this and that, but the truth is that every single one of us has an individual path to follow, and it is a miraculous one. Are we destined to do certain things? Perhaps we are, but there's certain things that we might do or not do on the way that would take our lives in different directions. And that's the thing. It's magical in that respect. We often wake up worrying about what we should or shouldn't do, or how things should or shouldn't be, and it never ever turns out like that. You can plan things, and they don't always go according to plan. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't plan, if you see what I mean, but there's this we have to kind of accept the flow of things, I think, and then you avoid the stress. So it's not a case of not doing anything. Being lazy and sitting around and lying around waiting for things to happen is not what I mean. Every every action causes a reaction, doesn't it? So, but that's the thing in life and with people and interactions. If you go out there and have actions, then you'll get certain reactions, but they can be highly unpredictable. Of course, the fact that people are predictable, or crowds of people are predictable, allows the masses to be manipulated by the media and things like that, people that we consider in authority. So but that's the problem, isn't it? We often grow up, and especially in this Western world, where other people are the authority. We don't feel as if we have any authority on our own lives. Everything we do or say or has to be licensed or approved or something like that. It's funny. Now, an interesting thing about the Thais is that in many ways they are, you could consider on the surface, they are very subservient. They're very loyal to the institutions, and they're very conservative in many ways. They do like to keep up appearances, and cleanliness is important. So there are high standards in many respects, but at the same time, for example, I'd say about at least half the population is just doing their own thing, doing their own business. They are just, whether they sell something at the market, they are making something that they make, or they're following a family tradition. They're preparing food and selling it, or whatever. And that's it. People make a living, and they do so very independently. This is one of the things that's part of the culture. We've grown up in a culture, if we're from the West, often where you think you've got to go and get a job working for some kind of corporation that is running the world, or heavily involved in, and then you've got some status. Oh, I work for P&G, or I work for Lloyd's Bank, and that's another funny thing that pointed out to me the other day, that England, for example, doesn't really export anything. Nobody buys anything from England, but it's one of the wealthiest countries in the world. Whereas, somewhere like Thailand has rubber, it has chickens, it's exporting coconuts or whatever. All these things, all these natural resources. But what's the UK got? It doesn't. It doesn't really sell anything. It just makes money off investments it's made, or people in the establishment have made a long time ago, or control of businesses that they have, or certain industries. And that's the whole thing. Whether it's the Rona, whether it's aerospace, all that stuff. I mean, and this of course incorporates the globe lie, is basically industries created out of thin air, out of concepts, and they sell concepts. And especially with all the whole digital thing, all that stuff, the fact that it's not too difficult now to, obviously, if you have an idea to create a product that's kind of like a virtual product or something, you can create it, you can put it together. Oh, you can sell this. Oh, we'll give you a thing that monitors all your CO2 emissions, will tell you how much power you're consuming, and will display it. A lot of these industries are basically just using digital technology to bring information together and display it for someone in a readable format, and they sell that. That's their product. They're just, they're just using technology to gather information, and it's the displaying and amalgamation of information that they're selling as a product. So we have this whole digital industry, and that's what the smart cities are all about and things like that. It's just an industry, and okay, leave them to it. As far as I'm concerned, you can't stop them. There's no point in, sure, if they, yes, protesting is all great, and when you show strength in numbers and everything, that's fine. But ultimately, what have you got to do? Protests are great in a way that you get to see that there are many, many other people feeling and thinking the same as you, and that you could together actually form your own independent community, or just be independent. And the government does its thing, and it controls the masses that it wants to control, but otherwise you're just doing your own thing. If you're not so worried about having a nice car to go to work in, or things like that, or to rushing to get to your job, then you don't need to worry about all these other things that they're putting in place as far as the things you can or cannot do. It's just like, yeah, whatever. Okay, I'll walk. I'll get a bike. I'll enjoy the fresh air. I'll benefit from the exercise, and so on. And I won't be in debt for an expensive car that I can't drive anywhere anyway. Yeah. There's always a flip side to these things, and but I suppose, yeah, the comparison I was making with the way Thais operate here is actually there's a huge number of independent people just doing their own thing. And it's funny. So someone might sell something. So what they usually do is they'll make enough to sell, and they've got their cart or their trolley or whatever it is. So they've got a certain amount of stock. For example, your coffee seller, your drink seller, they will have enough of, obviously, a certain amount of hot water. They've got their gas that they carry around in a canister. And, there's a limit to what they might sell, or they might sell extremely well at a certain time of day. So off they go, and they become a regular fixture. And so within a short amount of time, they've made all the money they could really make for the day. And then they go off home. So yeah, what's that? There's a good comment there from I'm sorry, I can't read your name, but you're saying that these lies show that they can absolutely lie about anything, including the earth. Yes, that's it, isn't it? And I suppose that's why it's a bit of a challenge at first when it comes to flat earth, depending on how much your mind has been opened by all the stuff that went on before it. And it's interesting to see, for example, Piers Morgan is a good example of, at least, I got to give that guy credit for now admitting that he was wrong to judge people and whatnot, especially as a public figure or spokesperson with the whole Rona things. He got caught up in it just as much as everyone else, a lot of other people did. But now, so this is a good example of how sometimes, life takes its course and we learn from it. And, that happens at different stages. You can't blame someone. You can only appreciate that someone has had an opportunity to reflect on their thoughts and actions and beliefs, and then they are allowed to, and that allows them to progress. So maybe that's the whole point of life. Maybe that's all the point is. It's a lesson. We are meant to have these experiences, and we learn. We we can't learn about things if we're in this blissful situation all the time. We've got to experience hardship and stuff like that, and eventually we can come through it. Now my battery's running out, and so I'm going to have to cut this off before it does run out and cut us off. So oh, that's a good one. Is that Glenn Souch? When you live within a lie, you have a false perception of reality. Absolutely. And that's the thing. You've got to disconnect and reconnect. And it can be a sudden process, it could be a gradual process, or there are steps along the way that make us wake up. But I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for all those. And I'm grateful for some of those trolls, those globe earth believing trolls. I'm grateful for them because they've made me really think about how things are, and not formulate excuses and answers, but actually better understand my own position, their position, and all these other things, So again, it's not only the nice people that, there are the elephants. That's much more interesting than my talk, isn't it? I didn't just give you a quick view of the elephants before I cut the stream off. So I'll let them get on with their thing. Oh, you're from Quebec? Okay, sorry. Yeah, Yeah. So we got there's 3 of the elephants here. Gatin is the 5-year-old. That's the smaller one in front there. I think we've got Sao and Oi. 35 and a 30-year-old and a 40-year-old. No, 25-year-old and 40-year-old. So you can see a bit of a size difference there. So that guy over there is Gratin's keeper. You can see there's a lot of love going on here. They love and respect each other. It's really nice. And this is it, this is a wonderful thing, isn't it? We can have these connections with creatures and everything, and we're all souls having an experience. Whether it's karma or not, who knows? But there are always opportunities in life to, if we always, like I said, maybe if we always took an opportunity to help people, and we had faith in just the way things will turn out, how the universe will work in our favor if we just allow it, then, that would be cool. Whee! Yeah, put a bit of dust up there to keep cool. Hi, how are you doing? All right? Yeah. Let's get you a little bit closer. Yep. ถ่ายสด ตามมา They're following. Good morning. Hi, Gatin. Hi. Hello. Remember me? Yeah. Off you go. They're going for a dip, I think. So I'll try and keep this going so you can see that, because it's quite an experience. Ah. Oh, you hear that elephant fart? You're not going in then? Huh? Oh, he's okay. He's gone fishing. He's going fishing over there. Yeah. The Mahout's gone fishing and leaving his elephant to it. Yeah. Yeah. She just picked something up and put it in the basket. Isn't that interesting? He's telling her not to get in the water yet. Oh, here comes the other one. The biggest one, Big Mama. Katin, Katin. I have no food for you, sorry. Katin, hello. Hi, Sal. How are you doing? All right. This one's got lovely long eyelashes. You all right? You all right there? You're a big girl, aren't you, eh? Yeah. Oh, there it is. This is the kind of thing that I get to see here. Yep. Got no food, Sam. I'm sorry. Always on the lookout for food. She doesn't like being touched in the rear. Oh yeah, they know. Where's it on, mate? Yeah, they would. I mean, if they were left alone, they would probably just rip this thing to shreds because that's what they do. They pull things apart, you know. Just, yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, hey guys, I'm going to have to leave you to it because my battery is about to run out. So, yeah, let's let's catch up soon. I hope it's just nice to share. I'm sorry I can't read the chat. I'll have to do it later. No glasses at the moment, but I'm trying to just kind of get back to using my eyes, just get properly rather than relying on glasses. Just bear with me. All right. Anyway, I hope you have a great day wherever you are, whatever you're doing, and you let it flow. If you see a chance to help someone, help them. Things will turn out in some magical, mysterious way that makes things better. Yeah. And stop regretting the past. Stop worrying about the future. Live in the moment. And even if you're with a bunch of globe heads, enjoy their company for who they are and what they are. Yeah. As I said, we're all people experiencing a unique journey that teaches us life lessons, and even the people that seem to have a negative impact on us they are ultimately helping us learn if we allow it, if we allow ourselves to reflect on the lessons that we can learn from all our interactions in life. Yeah, that's my take on it, and it helps lead a happier, and I think, to be honest, more fruitful, abundant life. So that's just what I wanted to share for today. All right, so thanks a lot, and we'll catch up soon. Okay, Swadee Cup.